Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Damage Does D&D. It's... what day is it? Tuesday. Therefore, we are in Elusive Tide mode, in Pirate mode. And I'm sure everything's going absolutely swimmingly. Jade?
I wouldn't be swimming, the waters are a bit rough. So,
Full of tracks.
last we left off, you guys had been charged with an important mission by Orala herself to root out the blue blades that were threatening her lands and seas as well, and to slay their leader, a man that Zarut would certainly know as Kaishun. You sailed south, investigating the island of Menzoran. What's the name? Menzenor, that was it. Close. Menzenor. A very thick, jungle-covered island with tall mountains acting as a spine. You sailed around to the south and found yourself face to face with a brigantine flying the Blue Blade's colours, named the Shadow Cricket. You engaged before suddenly hearing a loud thump as something latched onto the bottom of the Elusive Tide, slowing you, but not enough to save the Shadow Cricket. You were boarded, but Science Rhino deftly dealt with that problem. And
The Science Rhino, no one else.
we pick up with you successful in the sea battle with a submarine latched to the hull of the Elusive Tide.
Klein
Is where
immediately enters because he is right there near the hatch. He's gonna try and
Presumably
open
we are
Okay.
still in initiative, is that right?
No, you've come out of
Okay.
initiative now. The Shadow Cricket is sinking beneath the waves, and a couple of the crew are kind of escaping to the island, but are not hopeful about their prospects with the Elusive Tide still being in the water.
Rather call for water boys to do their thing, so sort of Ilos will just go running and dive off the side of the ship.
Shall
You
we
dive
finish
down.
them, Captain?
Say again, James?
Shall we finish them, Captain?
Yes, finish them. Let's see what we can recover from the ship as well.
Are the... how many ropes are still attached to the ship? On the
I
submarine?
believe none of them actually. Let me have a look.
All
Yeah, I
of the
thought all of
No.
them were cut. Yeah.
I think I chewed off the last one.
Yes, all of the
Okay.
ropes have been cut. Klein is hanging to the edge of the submersible that is latched.
Clyde,
Trying
are
to
you
open
underwater,
up
Clyde?
Yeah, I'm underwater and I'm now trying to enter the submersible.
Yes. I'll say that you can pretty deftly finish off most of the crew of the Shadow Cricket without their
Just
ship.
flying around, shooting them from height.
They're
Yes.
unable to handle Alak and the other high-range members of the crew. So they are no threat to you. Ilis and Klein, you're both in the water investigating the submersible?
I'm trying to get into it, yeah, because I was right near one of the hatches, so I'm trying to.
You kind of enter into this hatch, and it's this cramped little like metallic room. You can see a lever, or two levers, one attached to the hatch you just came into, and one in the center, or one attached near the hatch you came in, one towards the center of the room.
I'll just have a quick look on the floor, assuming that there is another hatch somewhere around.
Make
get
an
to-
investigation check.
Right webpage would be good. Two.
You kind of look around, and it's weird. You're in like a solid metal box.
I pull the lever then, in the centre of the room.
Which one? The one in the center of the room? Okay. You pull the lever in the center of the room, and the hatch just slams shut. It's pitch black. You then hear a gurgling noise as the water drains out of the room, and the wall to your right opens, and you see a ladder leading down into a slightly larger room.
Can I hear if there's anybody still on the boat?
Make a perception check. Meanwhile, Ilis, what are you up to? You've just seen Klein swim inside and the door close behind him.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to swim to the nose of this thing and see if there's any sort of portholes or windows on this thing.
Okay, make either investigation or perception as you're swimming about the ship. Klein, what was your perception check?
16.
16. You don't hear any noise outside of the slight gurgling and sloshing of water.
I continue down the ladder then.
You continue down the ladder and you find yourself in this small control room, it seems to be. There are these complicated bits of metal that all interlock like gears, similar to the device that Barry had made, but on a larger and weirder scale. You can't really comprehend it very well. And you see a very tight corridor leading down towards the back of the craft.
There's no like writing underneath any of these gears, dials, whatever they are, on there.
Does not appear to be.
Yeah, I continue down the only way I can go then. I'm trying to figure out if there's any levers or anything for these clamps or on the bottom of the boat.
Okay. Ilis, what did you get for your check looking around the outside of the ship?
30.
30. Okay. You do see a couple of portholes. They seem to be really heavily reinforced. And you catch a glimpse of Klein inside this kind of like wood-panelled, very cramped room filled with this strange machinery. But otherwise, you hear a very faint, muffled clicking sound.
Yeah, I'll move towards the source of it.
Okay. It seems to be coming from the back of the vessel. Fine. As you're walking along, you look into a couple of the rooms. They seem to have like really simple bunks with these weapon racks. You suspect that this was designed as a boarding craft for the crew just to jump on board the ship, take it over, and then sail off without being seen under the water.
Yeah.
Make a perception check for me as you're walking along.
19 that time.
19. Okay. First of all, you see a small lockbox in one of the rooms. Small black metal, a heavy padlock attached to it. And you begin to hear this ticking sound coming from ahead. Like the ticking of clockwork.
Yep. I pick up the lockbox. Pick up the lockbox and put it in my pocket, and then head towards this clicking sound.
Okay. Ilis, you swim to the back of the ship, and you can hear this ticking sound. It's regular, like clockwork. It seems to be right at the... Well, not right at the back, because you've got this strange propeller device. And then kind of just inside, just with your high perception, you're able to kind of visualize how the rooms fall.
No.
You've got these, like, 2 rooms, then there's this back chamber where the ticking sound is coming from. Fine, as you approach that back chamber where the ticking sound has come from, you get a very sharp smell. Smell of sulfur. That horrid, rotten egg, acrid smell.
I do, or Eyeless does.
You do.
Right. Okay. Can I can I see, or like I don't know what's the word I'm looking for? Can I ascertain the actual where this ticking is coming from? I mean, I'm Klein. He's stupid, but not that stupid. So he's assuming this is a bomb.
Make an investigation check.
If this is investigation, I will be doing this very deftly, knowing obviously that there can be trigger points for obviously traps and
Okay.
bombs and that.
Taken into account.
18. No, sorry, 15. Investigation.
Sorry, 15 on the investigation.
15. Yeah, sorry, I had my perception plus in my head.
This is a bit cliche, but you see another of these clockwork devices, but you see it carrying a match to a striking point to a collection of these large barrels that acrid smell is coming from. It smells like the cannons. It smells like the gunpowder you use in the cannons.
Yeah. Do I have access to this match on this device?
You do. You can see it's approaching the strike point. You suspect you've only got a few more seconds.
I I take the match out then.
Okay.
If I've only got a few more seconds.
Make a strength check for me, in an attempt to diffuse this situation.
Oh God, that was dreadful. I approve.
That's actually quite good. Strength check, yeah.
Strength check, yeah.
23.
23. Okay. Give me a moment. My monitor's just had a bit of trouble. And not the cable. Come on. So that was 23 on the strength check, yeah?
Yeah, 23.
Okay. You kind of instinctively just kind of reach in and grab it and end up bending the metal as you kind of wrench this big fire starter from the
Is it a
device.
twisted
Sorry,
fire starter now? Because you bent it.
Yeah, it is a twisted fire starter. And you feel safe in the knowledge that the explosives aren't going to detonate.
I stand there and keep watching just to see if there is a backup incendiary device on this.
Okay.
Just
Make
in
a
case.
perception check for me, please, as you're kind of watching it. I apologise, my main monitor has just gone, and so I can't see any of my notes. There we go.
Tech support to the
Blimey.
rescue.
Right, we're all clear. Right.
15 on the perception check.
15 on the perception check. There doesn't appear to be any backup. You do see a lever, which does have a label, which is labelled stop. And you begin to hear this creaking, and Eyeless, you would hear it as well. You'd hear this kind of like cacophony as Klein kind of breaks the machine, but you start to hear this creaking of metal as the device is still trying to turn.
I pull the lever then if it says stop, assuming that
Okay, and it stops, and the noise stops for you, Eyeless. Okay.
Okay. I will head back then the way I came.
Okay.
And I'm not going to touch anything else. I'll go to the ship. I'll go up to the hatch again, and pull that center lever, assuming that if I pulled that, it would open up the other hatch and close the wall.
You try to move the lever, and you'd have to force it to move it.
I go to where the other lever was then, near the hatch.
Yep.
And try and pull that one in.
You pull that one, and the wall shifts up, and it's a sudden cold sensation as the chamber floods with water.
Yeah.
Before the hatch on the outside opens, and you're able to swim free.
Okay. I get up again and climb on board the Elusive Tide and go and find the captain.
Okay.
The clamp point for this thing on the ship itself, is it just one clamp point or are there multiple?
There are kind of two. So you imagine the ship underside. The submarine has these two clamp points that kind of pinch around onto the hull
Mhm.
and seem to be clawed in. There's probably going to be some damage to the wood. Nothing substantial that would sink you, but a bit of minor damage.
Yeah, I find the captain if he's on deck.
Probably in the office, but you can find me.
Yeah. And if you're in the office, I'd give that knock on the door.
Yes.
I'll walk in. Oi, hello, captain.
Hi.
Nice battle that was. Quite like that. We've still got that like underwater device clamped to the ship beneath us, and I don't want to touch any levers just in case I do something wrong and do something. So somebody a bit more mechanical could be good down there. Like Barry, he might be quite good.
Okay. If you
Um,
think.
I think
Go
that
on.
would be good, but there is quite a lot of explosives on board that boat as well.
Right.
They had set it up to, well, if I hadn't gone down there when I did, I think the Elusive Tide would sustain quite a bit of damage.
Okay. Is there a way to breathe down there? I mean, not for us, we can anyway, but is it some sort of sealed environment where there's air inside? Or is it all just
Well,
water?
as far as I can tell, yeah. So you kind of get in the initial hatch on the outside of it, and you press a lever, and it closes that hatch. The water drains out, and then like a wall opens, so you can get back into like the boat underneath us. So it's
Okay.
like completely dry in there. But there's a lot of devices. Kind of look like similar to the one Barry's built for us to be able to detect them below us.
Okay.
And a lot of mechanical bits down there. Oh, and I found this down there as well, and I'll hand the captain over the black metal lockbox.
Ah. Excellent, thank you. Usually, as you would know, the best way to deal with explosives, presumably gunpowder, is to get it wet. Can we just open both doors and let it flood?
No, because you have to like open one to close the other. So one fills up with water so you can get out, and then as soon as you close the hatch, the other one drains the water so you can get in.
Yes, but if we stop one from closing and just open both.
I suppose you could, definitely. However,
Is there anything of value in there that we want dry?
the lockbox is the only thing I kind of saw in my initial one. So definitely worth somebody having a better look. And I was thinking that we might be able to use this to our advantage.
Good point.
Because if we've got
Okay.
a boat underwater with a load of explosives, we can blow up one of their ships quite good.
Yes. That is a good point. Okay, right. Go and speak to Barry, and yes, see what they can do about the mechanism.
Righto, will do, Captain.
And once Klein's left, I'll take a look at this lockbox.
It's sturdy make. You would recognize the design as a popular choice for a drop box, often when having to
Cloud
smuggle
storage.
things. Yeah, like temporary storage, smuggling stuff in and out of the city. These were the kind of boxes you would find buried in the sand or tactfully hidden behind the rocks. kind of such. They seem to be being used for a new purpose now. It is firmly locked.
I'll find luck.
Okay.
Yeah? Yeah? Yes,
And
Captain.
I'll ask him into my office. Any chance you can open this?
Let me have a look. And I'll have an inspection of it and see where the lock is and how it is, and then I'll try and pick it.
Okay. Roll a thieves' tools check for me, please.
23.
23. A little bit of careful maneuvering of your tools before and the padlock kind of swings loose.
And I'll carefully open it just in case it's trapped.
Okay, you carefully open it. It doesn't appear to be.
I'll close it again and give it back to the captain. Here, Captain.
Put your own trap tester along with your food tester next.
That could be Balkan. Brilliant. Thank you, Lack. You're always the dragonfly for the job.
Captain. Anything else? I have enemies to shoot.
Feel free to return to your shooting.
Thank you,
Like
Captain.
shooting bandits in some water.
Ash, you're currently in turtle form.
Yes,
I
I
thought you were in the wrong place.
Yeah.
And yeah, once that's gone, then I will open the box.
Okay. You open the
Well,
box
it's there.
and you find roughly 60 gold pieces, very carefully wrapped into stacks of 10. You find 8 small chunks of obsidian. Seems rather still a little bit warm to the touch. And you see a very strange looking dark blue cloak. If I can just find that.
Cloak.
It's made of this very fine kind of smooth material, and it appears to have it's got this kind of like nice hood. It kind of can clasp around the neck, and it has these kind of like long trailing wings or tails to it. It's very fancy.
I will immediately put it on
Okay.
and just do the sort of yes, as I swish around the tails.
You are
kind
now first.
Swish it around, and as you kind of pull the kind of the hood up and the kind of scarf around, I'll share a picture of. I've got a reference here. It's tied. You kind of pull it up, and you realise that you can kind of breathe through the material.
Interesting. I'll Yep.
You're not giggling at. Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
So I was looking for the gif of Zap Brannigan saying blur.
It had to be that one. Stardust's one of my favourite films.
Oh, excuse me. Okay. I'll wander out and go and find quarantine.
Okay. Where are you quarantined currently?
Extra swishiness.
Probably just sort of keeping an eye on things on deck and making sure, that there are no survivors left, etc.
Yeah, you're kind of looking out, Quarantine. You see Lack flying above, and a couple of the ranged members of the crew. I believe Journey would be there, kind of like carefully aiming up shots and firing arrows to pick off the
Yeah, I'd be doing
remainders
that
of the Blue Blades crew.
with my frost bolt.
Just shards of ice in the water. Before Zarut approaches you.
Captain,
Hi, Quarantine.
fancy dicks?
Do you like my cloak?
Where did you find it, may I ask?
Klein found it in the ship underneath. I was actually hoping you might have a look at it, see if there's any magical value to it.
Of course, and as glamorous and amazing as you looked in it, Captain, I must be vigilant to say that in future maybe not try these things on first in case of curses and the like.
I know. You're right.
I'm only thinking of you, Captain. But I will take a look.
Thank you.
Was I the only one hoping that Jade was going to go, you can't take the cloak off?
No.
I was tempted in the moment, but nah.
Now that you've said it, yes, I wish that had happened.
I'll save that for the next fun item you find.
And I will
So-
find somewhere to sit on the deck and identify this thing.
Okay. You identify it as a Cloak of the Manta Ray. A cloak that, when worn with its hood up, confers a swift swimming speed and the ability to breathe underwater. Quite handy in a campaign for the pirates, wouldn't you say?
Definitely not.
Well, after finding out, I would. Captain? As much as I know you would love to display this wonderful cloak, it would be of no use to you, as it gives the wearer the ability to breathe underwater and a swim speed, and the ability to swim at speed underwater.
Right. Yes. It's a shame. But I'm sure someone could make use of it.
I'm sure.
Sorry, please. Sorry.
I believe it does not require attunement.
Well, what about you? Quarantine? Can you? Because Klein, myself, and Eyeless can all swim and breathe underwater.
And then
Vulcan
there come the druids.
And Curtin don't need any assistance there. Lack would never get into water. So it's you or Aldris, I think.
I don't know if Aldris has ever been that close to water.
I think his skin might fall off if he did.
It is concerning. If you are happy for me to take it, Captain, I would gladly do so.
Well, for a thing of such beauty, the cloak would suit you.
Oh, you flatter me, Captain.
Dude, again. Wow.
And I will put it around my neck and tie it up.
Adjust space on belt.
Did you just take a compliment to someone else as an insult to you?
Absolutely.
Don't be that guy.
Absolutely.
The first one, yes, that was uncalled for.
Oh, I'll get you to all mutiny at some point.
I think Klein would
But
be
despite
fine-
that comment, Aldris, I know you have thicker skin than that.
Yeah, it's kind of like dry and leathery.
Yes, and not at all likely to fall off underwater.
And it is something that is not possibly technically alive, able to worry about breathing underwater.
Who knows?
I mean, you don't know. You don't know whether I'm
Hello.
alive or not.
A lot of assumptions here, yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't being deadest.
I think you were.
Klein, you are collecting Barry.
I'll get Barry
Bye.
and head, and be like, new accent, Matthew. Come on, don't go into the Birmingham accent. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Come
What's
on,
your Klein?
Barry.
Channel your inner Kim. Go on.
I can't do it.
Come on, Barry.
Come on, Barry.
Right, Barry, got another job for you. Got
Right. Did the big bonger work well?
there. It worked bloody beautifully. Although next time we will have to have the device what warns us probably more out in the open so we can see it. It was a little bit too late.
All right. I'll have a think about it. What do you need me to do then?
Well, one of their little underwater boats is connected to the bottom of our ship
Right.
with a lot of
I
stuff.
did hear a big kind of like clonk earlier.
It's like connected by 2 claws, but there's a lot of mechanical stuff inside, which I think your eyes will be good for.
Absolutely. I'm not a great swimmer. Though.
That's absolutely fine. I can keep hold of you, and we can get in there, and it'll be fine. You'll have to hold your breath for a minute though, because we'll have to go underwater.
All right, Mr. Klein.
And
Sure, Brett would be fine. Grand.
get on, walk up deck, and to the side of where obviously I know the hatch is, and then I'll kind of be like, right, do you want me to hold you, or do you want to climb on my back?
He kind of climbs up onto your back, kind of instinctively. It's like, never been in a water before.
Hold on tight, and I just jump off the edge feet first.
He may or may not kind of make an involuntary as you do so. So you make your way back inside to the submersible.
Yep. And but before we go under, I'll just obviously tell him the workings of the little hatch and just hold his breath until obviously they'll get inside. But yeah, I'll go in, pull the central lever, and then wait for it. And then on the way through to the like the main bit where all the mechanical bits are, I'll just say, right, there's a bomb down the other end. It is deactivated, but your eyes on it would be quite good as well.
Let me have a look. And he kind of looks around and starts to kind of like piece together how the mechanism works, and then eventually he kind of comes to a bit and he kind of struggles to pull this large lever down, and you'd all hear a boom as the submersible detaches from the underside of the Elusive Tide. He says, right, I can set this thing to start sinking if you want, Mr. Klein.
No, not just at the minute. We're going to try and keep it and use it to our advantage.
All right. I could try and figure out how to make it go.
Yep, if you can do that, that would be bloody marvellous, that would.
Are we going to have Barry manning the submarine?
A noble sacrifice.
He kind of investigates the thing. There's a bit of magic on this. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, Mr. Klein. There's like an enchantment on the controls, the main controls. That the big lever's fine. That only the captain of this ship could pull it, and I'm pretty sure when I was peeking out the door, I'm pretty sure I saw him flying off the ship because of a rhino, which was quite terrifying, to be honest.
Right, we didn't see that. It was underwater. But do you reckon this is kind of like could be an enchantment where we could break it without blowing it up?
I wouldn't say so. I think if the enchantment's removed, the failsafe will go off and it will just start sinking. And if you try to use it, then I'm not exactly sure what would happen. But yeah, it's kind of like a load-bearing enchantment. They've been real clever about it, to be honest. I mean, and he starts going into this tirade about the impressiveness of the machinery and the clockwork used to make this vehicle work.
I'll be like, right, okay, marvellous. If that's the case, then we won't even look at the bomb. We'll go back up to the captain and see what he wants to do.
All right. And he kind of accompanies you back to the deck of the ship.
Yeah.
What's anyone else doing at this time?
Helping out around the ship, healing, mending as needs be.
Okay. Aldris,
I
Vulcan?
I've taken the wheel. Well, I've really given up the wheel. Just making sure that there's no immediate danger from other boats on the horizon or anything strange or untoward.
Give me a perception check.
Perception.
Sure looking out.
So 9 plus whatever I have. Perception. 4. 13.
13. You don't see any ships on the horizon. It seems to be safe waters for the moment.
Okay, I will keep a lookout and keep the wheel steady because I'm aware that the ship is not responding as normal because there's a thing attached to the bottom of it.
It has kind of detached, so you kind of, the ship does rock a little bit when that happens.
Okay, well I will just.
You get the sense that it is free of it. I also say at this point, the crew of the Shadow Cricket have been dispatched.
Exterminated.
So
That too.
say, Klein, you get back up onto deck with Barry in tow.
Yeah, and head back to the captain's quarters, his office. Again, knock on it and just kind of walk in, assuming that he would answer.
Yep.
Right, back now, Captain. Took Barry with us. He's got it
Barry
detached
kinda
from the
nods.
ship, but we can't control it. They've put like some kind of enchantment on the controls, so only the captain could have done it.
Right. Only the captain could have disarmed this, but that captain's definitely dead.
Right, yeah, I mean, I was underwater at the time, but Barry said he thinks he saw him fly off the deck by a rhino.
You have vague
Yeah.
recollections of a black dragonborn in decent finery coming onto the deck at one point.
Right. Okay. Well, perhaps Aldris can help. Could you assist in trying to recover the body of the old captain?
Right, I could, but I don't know what he looks like because I was underwater.
Black dragonborn.
I'm still
Right.
sort of floating at the side of the ship, just waiting.
Yeah. Ask Ilas. He'll know.
Righto, and we'll both start a search for him. Yep,
Sorry,
we'll do
Captain,
that.
you
And
wanted me to do something.
I believe you have spoken to dead people before. Am I right in thinking that? There was some spell you cast to speak with
there was-
somebody unalive.
Certainly, Ilas has done that. I'm not sure I've done that yet.
Ilas did that, did he?
Yes, I mean I could probably do it, but
Apologies.
I'm just checking to see if I
So
can get
many
my
people,
prepared
so
at
many
the moment.
skills. It's different.
Yeah.
They look so alike.
Yeah, we do. We're both very pretty. I don't have that
That's all.
prepared, Captain. I would have to wait until tomorrow.
This wasn't quick enough.
No, I don't have a spare. I just turned this one upside down. Okay, let me check with Ilas. I'm gonna go. Actually, did you say Ilas was just floating in the water?
He would have seen Barry and Klein return to the ship, and he would have remained in the water for the time being. Because,
Chilling.
well, it's less about chilling; it's more so having somebody eyes on with this thing under the ship while.
Oh yeah, but you know, also surfing in the water is pretty cool.
If
I'd
I see Eyeless floating in the water, I'm just going to walk up to the edge of the ship and leap off.
Cool.
Bit of
I'm
spray
just
of water over
Aldris is
you,
just watching all the
Eyeless.
Just
To be fair, as he sees
squeeze it up,
yeah,
doing a
so
bomb.
as he sees the captain sort of dive off the ship, he'll literally just lean back and sort of submerge.
Oh, these people jumping in the water, they're all mad.
Collection of
I
our
follow-
watery boys.
Do the
I
old.
follow the captain just so he's got somebody with him. As Lack obviously wouldn't go.
All 3 of our blue watery boys are inside in the water now.
Eyeless. This is refreshing. Do you've used a spell before that allowed you to talk to someone who is not alive, haven't you?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Is it possible you can do that again, or do you need time?
I cannot do it today.
Both of your clerics have not chosen that spell today.
Clearly.
It seemed more prudent that other choices were made.
No, that's fine. We need to speak with the.
We need to find him first, don't we?
We do need to find him, but evidently we have a day.
I would know where he is. I know the general area because I saw him fly off into the water.
It was a good 50 feet behind where the ship was, as he was knocked off and then continued sailing.
I could get us in the general area to within 34.
Yeah, I think the 3 of us in the water, given the distances we're looking at.
I'll say are you guys looking now?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I'll say we are the Black Dragonborn fellow. Very fancy dress. I don't know if it was a dress.
He seemed quite angry.
Could have been a pantsuit, you know.
It was
A romper.
But a
I'll be
sequined romper.
I'll be honest with the captain. I don't really know what it was, and I don't really know what he was trying to say with his choice, but it really did not suit him.
He stepped aboard my ship, asking why it wasn't yet his ship, and then he got yeeted by a rhino. That's the only interaction I've.
He was forcibly ejected due to his poor life choices.
Indeed.
He was forcibly ejected due to science, bitches.
But that captain would know how to disarm things down below, which we could possibly do with. So if we can find him, let's get him back on board. But maybe Aldris wants to keep his head. He's a captain, although there's no personal connection there. Who knows?
Well,
Can't
he does
claim
seem
to understand the man.
I mean, he
Dragonborn
does,
skull would be quite unique.
he does seem to be enjoying collecting his heads, and as long as it's a captain, I don't think he cares.
Let's see if we can find it anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I know.
Okay. What I'll say is each of you roll a perception check, and we will go with the highest. It's going to be a high DC because this is going to be quite difficult.
I have 300-foot dark vision. I'm just saying.
Will be taken into account.
I'll also command Morris to do an aerial overview.
Okay.
Also,
I'll say you can have advantage with that, Phineas, with Morris helping you. For a suspicious Google search.
Klein rolled quite high.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to guidance myself as well.
I think you're looking for the body would not be floating until it started to decompose
Uh,
and filled with gases that would make it float to the top.
We'll see.
The things you do to get onto an FBI list,
Task
what's
Goods
your
net.
searching stuff for D&D?
That's just my knowledge from things like bones.
Oh, yeah. Previous experience, Nat here.
They would float for a while, but yeah.
Yeah, it would take a while to
Okay.
sink. Obviously, they do.
Mhm.
Unless you weigh them down. Unless he was wearing, mail. Wait, I said all that out loud, didn't I? Shit.
So, what were the perception checks then for me from the three of you?
Including my D4 30.
30. Very nice.
Yeah.
You guys both below that?
Yeah, I got 22.
Obviously.
Ilis, with your kind of like extended range of vision in the waters, it's not dark, it's just harder to see. You kind of catch a slight glint of metal, and you can see the captain's sword kind of hanging, still barely gripped by his hand. He died as he hit the water, or before he hit the water. You're able to recover the body.
Yeah. And so
Alice just has sonar.
the captain and Klein would just see sort of Eilish dart forward like a torpedo through the water.
Yeah, I follow in suit, knowing that if he has found it, that it'd be easy for me to get it back. He was a hefty dragonborn.
I say between the lot of you, it's easy enough to do.
Cool.
In the meantime, Quarantine wants to do something that's going to be helpful and also test out her new shiny thing.
Okay.
So she's going to strip off
Nice.
most
That's
of the
pretty
rest of
normal.
her clothes
That's pretty normal.
and just keep wearing this cloak. Then she's going to cast Detect Magic and then jump in the water to see if there's anything that's sunk or on the wreck of the actual boat, not the submarine, that's magical and could be of value.
Okay. Let's do a perception check as you're kind of swimming down to the ship. You can see the wreck kind of split in half by the vicious brutal shot ballista.
19.
19. You see kind of your eyes naturally drawn down to the hold, what it seems to be. You swim down and you see what appears to be a couple of large crates. Two large crates and one smaller crate that seems to have a very faint, barely visible magical essence shining from it.
From all three crates?
No, from the smaller crate.
The smaller crate. Is it one I can pick up, considering I'm a weakling?
No, I'd say it's about a meter by a meter in rough size, a couple of feet by feet. To use American.
I will swim up to the surface and do the whole thing where I'm going to flick back the wet hair.
Okay.
And
Careful, you're getting everything wet.
I'm still in the water, far away from where you are.
All right, sorry. I thought you'd come back on the boat and you were
No,
flicking.
I'm just at the top. I've just basically swum up from where I was.
Okay, sorry.
And look for somebody who's strong and won't be averse to getting in the water. Who's not busy looking for dead bodies of captains.
You see the trio returning with the dead body held
As
between Klein and Ilis.
Yeah, as we get back to the ship, Ilis will basically, using shape water because I can do this, you'll just see him keep manipulating pieces of water and freezing it, and essentially just walking and up steps out of the water, and you'll just see each step fly away, and he just walks back onto the ship.
Very familiar.
Overly fancy.
I like
Very
it.
nice.
Okay, once I see if Klein is not busy anymore, I will message him. Fine,
Okay.
darling. If you're not busy anymore, could I borrow you in the water, please? and I will wave at him. No,
You look
darling,
around
in the water, in the water.
You eventually see Quarantine, mostly naked, kind of like treading water over the shipwreck.
You're muted, by the way.
And I saw that. Climb our way back and we'll just shout out back to her. Righto, I'll be there in a sec.
Klein's voice booms in your head from the message.
Wonderful, darling. You just don't need to shout when I'm using this spell.
And he's tanking it in the water.
You swim back down. You see these 3 crates.
Um,
Large, one small.
Oh, before we dive down, when he gets to me, I'll explain. 3 crates. One of them's definitely got something magical inside. It's a smaller one. There might be something of value in the 2 larger ones as well. It's not magically.
Any chance I could do 2 at a time here and pick up one in each hand and then do like the whole fish?
The larger crates you're definitely not going to be able to pull. These are proper large cargo crates.
I'll
Right.
also message to Proshka to be ready on the ship to get them on board.
No, they will.
Okay, so I'll get the smaller crate first and take that up then.
Okay. It's decently heavy, so I'll have you make a strength check. It'll be a straight roll because you're decently good in the water.
Strength. Get to the right page. I don't know why I'm on roll 20 because it's just a map over 2 ships. Non-natural 20.
Nice, 20. Okay. It takes a little bit of time, but you're able to kind of swim it up and kind of like, with Proshka's help, lug it up onto the deck of the ship.
While Klein's doing that, I'll also keep swimming around while I've still got my detect magic up, seeing if anything else pings out at me. Also checking the little island where anyone who was surviving the initial wrecks.
You give it a quick survey, and there doesn't appear to be anything else magical left on this ship.
Is there
Not
anything
even
else
the equipment
possibly
that they
valuable?
wield. No, other than those 2 larger crates in the hold, you don't think they were carrying much of value.
Okay, then I will come back on board and just sort of sit and wait for the boys and Proshka to do their thing and dry out in the sun naturally. Just, not
Okay.
bothering about putting clothes back on.
Okay.
With these larger crates, if I think it's even a struggle for me, would I be able to actually just get them to the island so we could get a boat out there?
You think so?
Yeah, so
It would take some work and possibly someone else who can swim under the water with you.
yeah, well, I'd attempt it on my own first because I'm Klein and I think I can pretty much take on a giant. So if that if that doesn't work, I'll probably. Who else have we got? What can potentially breathe underwater and help?
Well, I can come and help. I'm not particularly strong, but I can assist you in moving things.
Yeah, I'd go
and
get
also,
Hylas.
when we get back on the ship, Hylas will go to the captain because something's just occurred to him. With regards to speaking to the dead captain, perhaps it may be better to have Uldris do it, as I insulted him and he's liable to not want to talk to me.
Fair enough. Is that a factor? Do they know who they're talking to?
They
can do, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they retain basic memory, don't they? So
yeah, he would have a rudimentary perception of it being me.
If I'm to understand it right, if you killed them, they're less likely to talk to you.
Yes, I will note the previous time this spell was used, the captain that you used it on actively lied to you because you had been callous and broken the deal that you made with him.
Okay, if you think that will make a difference.
yay,
Well,
Kim!
right.
Or magical floating coffee cup. Yay, Kim!
I don't know what I'm waving, nobody can see me. Hi, Kim.
That's hot.
Sorry.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Hello.
The
Nice wave and Jade. Very special.
Having fun.
Bye bye.
Alice.
the corpse is under no. They're not compelled to tell the truth, and if they recognise me as an enemy, which he would, it may hinder his truthfulness.
Okay.
Whereas
Is this
How can we
conversation
stack this in our favour?
happening on the deck?
I think we're back on board.
You would have seen Aldris, Klein, and Eyeless carry this dead body onto the deck.
I shall wander over. So, Captain, it might be an idea to, if you could possibly describe this person that we're chasing. Can't remember his name, her name, their name.
Kaishun?
Could be,
That's one?
could be. The one we're going to go kill, yes?
Yes.
Right.
Very, very kill.
Then, if you could describe them accurately, I could try and disguise myself as them, and I will cast Disguise Self and become Zerut. Sort of like that. Although
Okay.
my voice is quite different. I'm not quite sure I can do the voice.
Yes. Similar to my accent, at least. Maybe a little deeper.
Yes, similar to your accent, that's what you said, yes.
No,
Is that good? I'm getting closer, I can feel it.
could you? You're very much confusing me. Could you undo the?
Undo the what?
Go back to you looking like yourself.
I don't look like myself? What?
Oh, God.
Are you okay, Captain?
The brief flash of that very pretty-looking elf figure for a brief moment, before it returns back to the illusion of you.
Is that better?
Yes, that'll.
I still look like you, by the way.
Yeah,
I just flashed into that very pretty elf and then back to you again.
I have a chaos button that I can just slam at any time. It's fantastic.
You two in cahoots.
I don't know what you mean.
Yes.
Who's in cahoots with whom? Sorry.
Right. Okay, let me describe Kaishun to you.
Who?
And I will.
Right, yes, of course, him.
Give a description.
Yeah.
Would it help if I tried to draw them?
Yes.
One for your French girls.
Perhaps some sort of illusion that looks like him.
Do I have any? I don't think I really have that sort of.
Look, and I'll cast Minor Illusion, and a large pile of treasure appears on the deck. Something like that, but as a person.
It would
Roshka
be
dives into
amazing.
the illusion and is immediately disappointed.
The illusion stays there. It's just Proska's legs sticking out of it.
Dragonborn face plant.
She looks at you and grumbles and walks back to her post.
How could you do that to her?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Or just any other blue blade. Actually, do we have any survivors? I could look like one of them.
That might be good. Although Kaishun would kind of have more. The captain. We need a certain password or code or something from the captain.
Right.
And I don't think he would give that to one of his underlings necessarily. So if we could.
I mean, if this doesn't work, I can just dispel the magic that's on the submersible.
I thought we've got rid of the submersible, have we not?
Didn't Barry explain that it would just make it sink?
Barry suspects that dispelling the enchantment will just break the mechanism. So, yeah, the only option he's really going to offer is to leave it or make it sink.
Well, we'll try the. Aldous looks like Kaishun thing. Let me. You can't do it at the moment, can you? The
Speaking with
raise
dead people. No, not yet.
thing.
Tomorrow morning, perhaps.
Okay. In the meantime, I will see if I can come up with a drawing for you of Kaishun.
Perfect. This lasts for an hour, by the way. Disguise self.
Captain? And
Yes, please.
Yes. Please.
One of them
Am I
sounds
doing
like
it right?
Zarut. One of them sounds like Zarut. One of them sounds like Aldris.
I will look at the one that sounds like the root. Captain.
Yes, what can I do for you?
She's still damp, wearing just his cloak and probably some undergarments.
Do it.
It's a fucking
Put some clothes on.
wild experience
Quarantine.
DMing this campaign.
Put some clothes on, Quarantine. It's really disturbing.
Make a performance check for me, Aldris.
Okay.
Yes, sir, if you wouldn't mind putting some clothes on, Quarantine.
Make a performance check, please. Zarut.
That's 19.
19.
Yeah.
Oh, bastard! 8.
Kind of sounds like Zarut, and it kind of sounds like Zarut trying to impersonate Aldris, the two figures.
I'm just going to sort of close my eyes and sigh. And then sort of stare up at the sky. You know, sort of roll my eyes up to the sky, not looking at either one of them in particular. Yes, Captain, I will. I just didn't want to get my clothes wet. I've been searching the wreckage, and I found some things that might be useful. So once they are on board, Klein's just seeing to it, I will investigate them closer.
Perfect. If you could identify those as soon as possible, we can get them stored appropriately.
And I'm just going to shake my head and prance away.
Thank you, Quarantine.
I mean, we went in the water with our armor on, and
Klein has been, if he can, we've got these other two crates to the island, and we'll just be like waving at the boat people to try and get them over.
Captains, I think Klein needs us.
I'm extra glad I shared that Muppet image.
Do you want to handle this one, Captain, or shall I?
Depends on how we're getting there, Captain. Are we walking, or swimming, or taking the ship?
Why do both of you sound like Aldris?
That's a very good question.
I'm getting very confused by this. It's not easy doing two people.
It really isn't. It's very confusing.
Are you okay there,
see if Proshka's brain explodes. I will get the boat and help Klein with what he's got.
That's probably a good
She
plan.
walks off just trying to figure it
take,
out in her
take
head.
Quarantine once she's fully clothed again so she can identify things.
I thought she was identifying that one, pointing to the smallish crate on the deck.
I will look round very confused. Oh yeah, sorry. I didn't see her go over there.
Surely Proshka's got to take like 1d4 psychic damage or something.
She already has. She is walking to the boat, just kind of deciding that it's not her problem. She's just going to do what she's been told and not worry about it. normally unburdened with the difficulties of life.
Aldris has completely forgotten he's cast that now, by the way.
No, never.
Aldris forgetting something.
I know.
This is
Unusual.
this is how Alderanis became Aldris, wasn't it? It was just a joke that.
Went
It was
too
like-
far.
Do you remember when you were a kid and you'd pull a face and someone would say, "Oh, if the wind changes
Yeah.
direction, you'll stay like that."
Stay like that.
That's what happened to Aldris.
Or the
Yeah.
old style TVs, and if you left like an image on there too much, it basically imprinted the image onto the glass.
Yeah.
Okay, so Proshka is helping Klein to get the 2 cargo crates on board.
Mhm.
You've got the kind of like small-ish crate that Quarantine saw some magic emanating from, and you have a dead dragonborn. What would you like to do?
Well, we don't need all of this now, do we? And I will summon my blade and cut the dragonborn's head off.
Okay.
Well, he could have had magical stuff on him. Being
I haven't
captain and all
disposed of
that.
anything. I've just cut the head off. That's all I've done.
Yeah, the
Bean swipe.
But we
body.
still have to get the whole body up on deck, and there's going to be blood everywhere.
Black scaled dragonborn.
I don't see why
head.
that's
So
my
you can
problem,
see-
Kirkin. We
you
have
see
deckhands, do
around
we not?
the neck, a couple of the scales have already started to turn to gold.
Looks like it's going to get interesting very shortly, Captain.
Very good, Captain.
But, sorry, what?
No, wait. The other one.
So, my name's Aldris, Captain. I don't know if you recall. I really do think you're feeling quite unwell today. Well, where's the doctor?
Aldris, it's fine. Don't worry. You can keep you can keep a hold of the head until you can cast the spell tomorrow, but
I should have just let the submarine blow up.
Yes, yes, you should.
No, because we'd all been
Yes,
under the water.
catching.
Put an end to your chaos.
But you like the chaos. That's why you have the chaos button. You press the chaos button. You
Okay.
can't take
Yeah,
it
but
back
would-
now.
Okay.
Would it have
So-
put an end to the chaos, or would it have just encouraged more creative chaos?
yeah.
Yeah,
To
never
resolve
put an end to the
resolve the
chaos.
issue.
What are
So-
you doing with the crate?
At some point, we both need to take Mask of Many Faces.
Yes.
I'm going to get my dagger and pry it open carefully.
Okay. You pry it open, and inside you see a large number of gold coins, again arranged into those stacks of 10. No, there are a lot of them. You also see, kind of perched on top of them, this large ornate box.
I will look around. Black,
Yes.
can you come and check this out, please?
I'll fly down and have a look at the box, see if it's locked, see if I can find any traps.
Doesn't appear to be locked. It's kind of this ornate, kind of gold gilded box. Make an investigation check for me, please.
20.
20. You kind of investigate it, kind of checking like some of the parts open. You come to discover it's not trapped. It's a jewelry box that is stuffed with fine gold and silver jewelry.
No locks, no traps, just shiny trinkets. And I'll give it back to her.
And inside one of the compartments, you find a pair of kind of clear gemstones that have this kind of like slight depression inside. They look identical.
Oh no.
Right, everyone froze there. I
Yes.
didn't get
Yep.
that.
Way too slow, Finny. Way too slow.
Yep.
You gotta have your option close to hand. This is
Yeah.
the main option I have close.
Oh, we got again. Fantastic.
That's better.
This one doesn't quite sit as well, and it's probably less visible. So
Yeah, that was good. Well done, Fiddy.
good work, Piddy.
So we've got about
So-
the clear gemstones that were feeling depressed.
Yes,
The
The
sad
depression
gems
gems.
are sad.
they are oddly identical. How long does detect magic last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, that would have dropped off by this point.
I'll cast it again because I need to check out the captain's body anyway.
You cast it
yeah.
again, and Zarut just lights up. He is a magical man. No, the dead dragonborn's body, nothing magical there, but these two gems emanate a very strong magical sense of. Hang on. D&D Beyond is very slow. Evocation magic.
Good from evocation again.
Captain, 4 gold, some fine jewellery, and some magical gems that I will investigate further.
I'll say all told, there is 2,000 gold pieces in the crate, and a jewellery box full of fine jewellery. I've marked off that you have. Are you identifying the gems?
Yeah.
Okay, you cast Identify and realise that they are a pair of sending stones. And they are paired to them, so you could hold one in your hand, speak into it, and cast Sending to whoever holds the other.
Give one to Klein and see how far he can send it.
Yay. Oddly, due to the shape of them, they'd make for absolutely great skipping. So you really could send them.
Nice.
Once I find that out, I will let the captain know.
Okay. I'll say around this point, Klein and Proshka are arriving. Proshka is still quite confused with a couple of large crates.
So on the way back, before we get there, can Klein just have his trident to hand, and can he just be looking in the water, and he will try and get a fish or two, so he can give to Balkan when he comes back on board.
Make a survival check for me.
Survival, that is 12.
12. You see one, so make an attack roll with your trident.
26.
26. Okay, you managed to spear one, and Proshka kind of gives you a slow clap of impressed.
And I'll pull the spear out and then take the fish off and get ready to give it to Balkan when we get on board.
Klein arrives on board. Balkan, where are you?
What's happened to Science Rhino?
I think Science Rhino would have disappeared by this point.
Okay. I'm still in horse form.
Of course,
I want to be Detective Horse, and I'll be sniffing around and hooving at the area where Science Rhino disappeared, trying to get to the bottom of this mystery.
You come on deck, Klein. You see Balkan still in his horse form, looking quite lost-lorn and concerned.
I'll wander up to Horskin and just kind of give him a hefty pat on the back, and then sort of like stroke his mane and sort of like tap him as if to say, "Look at me." If he looks at me, I'll just, from behind my back, we'll just have a fish for him.
I will take the fish as a horse. Because I'm not reverting back at all. Detective Horse has solved this mystery.
Detective Horse and Science Rhino.
Detective Horse and Science
Teacher
Rhino.
reading.
The animated series we all need now.
Absolutely.
Dynamic duo.
This is definitely
happened to this
like
campaign?
Cartoon Network territory.
Instead of
Yeah.
MacGyver, it's
Yeah.
McCorskin.
So, you get those large crates on deck. Is anyone having a look inside?
Yeah, definitely. Are they? If they're open, I'll try and open them.
You look inside and you find some rather decent cut lumber. Both of them full to the brim with lumber. Klein, to your eye, it looks like the kind of lumber you'd use in shipbuilding.
This is quite fine lumber, Captain. Shipbuilding lumber for sure. A bloody good one as well.
That's excellent, Mr. Klein. Well done.
Very good. That will be good to have around for repairs.
Make an insight check for me, Klein. See if you can determine which one's the actual captain or what's going on here.
That was a goodish roll, but that was cocked, so I'm going to have to re-roll it.
Iris,
Oh,
Iris
okay.
would have been, Iris would have been circling the crates as Klein opened, with basically holy fire in each hand, ready for shit to jump out.
Yeah.
There
That was
appears to be
14 for
any,
insight.
Leeches. 14 for insights. One of them is definitely the captain. You leaning to the one on the right?
Okay. So, yeah, Captain. Fine ship lumber here. My brain will automatically go to that they're building something big and fancy and bloody hard to bring down in the water.
Which one's he looking at?
The right one. Whoever is on the right.
He's looking at the reels of route.
That's cool.
Given that you're not keeping up with the voices.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I think we need to find out where they're building these sorts of ships.
You appear to be talking to Aldris.
I think I got the wrong captain, so we'll look at the other one. Captain. So, very fine lumber in those crates there. For shipbuilding, my brain would go to say that it's for building quite a nice ship, quite hefty and hard to bring down in the water.
Mr. Klein, you seem to be very confused. The captain's over there. And I'll point back at the other captain.
You appear to be talking to Aldris, Klein.
So
Klein,
Klein uses 3 of his temporary tip points to take psychic damage because he is fucking... Right,
Iris is just giggling at this point.
I've told both of you. Do with the information what you will. I'll be right back. And Klein just walks away.
That's 2 we've killed.
Both
Yeah, who
barbarians.
needs enemies with a crew
completely
like
confused.
this?
Okay. So, is there anything anyone wishes to do?
Quarantine
can
will
have
eventually
the-
get dressed.
Reading,
Okay.
if there's nothing else happening.
Reading. Okay. Is there anything you wish to do for the rest of the day? Do you wish to sail anywhere, or are you remaining near the submarine?
I will check out the body closely to see if there's anything of value, even if it's not magical.
You find a key.
Probably for the lockbox we've already opened.
Okay, I'll just pass that to the captain.
But which one?
The one who's not standing behind the wheel of the ship.
Both standing next to each other at the moment.
You see, if it was me, I'd just go, you know what, I'm going to hold on to this for approximately an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything else?
Reading?
Yeah, I think we want to stay where we are, probably for the night, so that we can try and get some information out of the captain tomorrow.
I'll say that you can remain, get some repairs done, as the Elusive Tide had taken a fair amount of damage in the fighting. And I'll say that you can spend the night, you can all get a long rest, and change spells out as you see fit. And I think we'll take a quick break there
Okay.
for me to collect myself and not cry. That you guys have spent the entire first half of this session on the submarine.
We've spent an hour and 20 minutes just fucking about, basically.
Yes.
D&D,
Well,
that's how
I mean,
it
you
works.
give us a chance of getting a submarine, we're going to try and get it, aren't we?
Right.
The
Yeah, so let's
submarine that
leave-
I have got a big note written underneath of "Do not let the party have."
Too late. Right, we will be
Put a
right
big
back
shiny
after
in front of us.
these messages. And welcome back. We are back into our short. We've taken a long rest, and it's morning apparently, according to DM anyway, or PM. Sorry.
Okay, so you awaken. The elusive tired is fully repaired. You're fully rested. What would you like to do?
I will wander and find the captain. Good morning, Captain. this speaking with dead captains thing. Do you want to do it on deck or in your office, or where would you like to do it? I'm just thinking, because the last time we did this, other members of the crew asked questions, therefore interrupting the process, as it were. I appreciate Mr. Klein's input in all things, but apparently it might go a little smoother if Mr. Klein was not involved.
I think just the two of us can be present.
Very well.
That makes sense. I'll produce a drawing that I've done in the evening of Kaishun.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see how good that was.
I will have you roll a charisma. Either a charisma or an intelligence check for me.
Before you do this, I will say that it may behoove the captain to have spoken to Mr. Klein about his vision, because he has seen Kaishun as he is now in his vision, or what he believes to have been Kaishun. So Mr. Klein may also be able to help refine the details as the captain draws.
A good point, but we're about to do it now, and you haven't mentioned that.
We'll continue with how we're going.
Yeah.
So I will.
Okay, we'll go charisma. Don't be shit like last time. 11.
11. It's a rough drawing of this kind of like blue tiefling, kind of a bit seems a bit more heavily built and muscular than Zarut,
Okay.
and has these really heavy horns, like very large heavy horns, but you're not really able to get any like fine details.
I think what I'll do then is I will. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself.
I know. Mistake.
I will use the features of Zarut that build them up into this more muscular, larger horned tiefling. So it might not look exactly like, but it will look like a tiefling.
I'm gonna roll for it.
All tieflings look the same anyway.
That depends on if you're a growing dragon and you need to eat.
Heron reference check.
Yep. That's the second one of those we've had today.
So,
okay,
you disguise yourself.
I will disguise.
Zarut, it doesn't look exactly like him, but it might be the closest you're gonna get.
So I will gently place. I will put the Dragonborn head that is already starting to turn gold on the desk.
Yeah.
And cast Speak with Dead.
Okay. You cast Speak with Dead, and this kind of like golden light kind of fills the head, kind of glowing from the eyes. They kind of sink in. You see that kind of, you can start to see the encroachment of the gold, kind of like, I don't want to say pyrotizing, but it's the wrong mineral for it, but like replacing the material of the skull, because its jaw kind of starts to hang open. You hear that long drawn breath pulled from it, being urged to speak.
So, excuse my voice. You're bringing the lumber to me, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. And where exactly do you think I am right now?
I don't know.
How did I get 5 questions now?
Mm-hmm.
That was 2. What else was I supposed to ask? I can't remember. I genuinely can't. I'm just like... we had a break.
Enchantment.
We had a
Enchantment
break.
submarine.
What, how to break it?
Was it expecting a code or a
Oh,
password?
yeah.
Or something?
It seemed to be, and I'll mention this for clarity. Barry did mention it seemed to be coded specifically to the captain's presence to work.
Oh.
Is there anyone else on board your ship that can decode the submersible?
No. Mm-hmm.
If anybody wants to jump in with a question, I should ask.
Yeah, players can confer if you wish.
Potentially.
I have thought of
Just.
one, but...
I mean, obviously, don't answer straight away. Just conference, but potentially, how much lumber is left to go to him?
Well, I was going to ask
Ooh,
what his destination was, and how much more lumber is coming. Yeah, everybody happy with those 2 questions?
Yeah.
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 Or how many more submersibles have lumber going to him?
The lumber's not in the submersible. The lumber's on the ship.
Oh, it's in the ship. Yeah, or how many more ships? Sorry. Yeah, he wouldn't know, would he? Fuck it. Okay, yeah, ignore me.
So, what was your destination?
Sorry, I need to check something for this.
Okay.
Ari.
Brilliant. To your knowledge, how many ships are we going to have in our final fleet?
I don't know.
Thought that might be the answer, but it was worth a try. Ah, well. Then go to your rest, Captain. You've done a really shitty job. And I will pick up the skull.
As you pick it up, a lot of the scales kind of crumble away, and you're left with this golden skeletal draconic head.
Perfect. I will attach it to my belt. Again,
How many more skulls before it just starts to be an encumbrance?
Still swear you were planning on attaching those to your shield, because you deliberately chose.
I did, but I haven't done it yet.
To attach them.
So they're just hanging off my belt at the moment. I need to go and see one of the crew to get it done.
So,
And who's going to remember to do that when you're impersonating the captain?
So
we got some information from that, didn't we?
So, Captain, we know that if he was telling the truth, the lumber was destined for Kaishun to build more ships.
I will say, he answered, when you asked where he was taking the lumber, all he answered was Far Reach.
Far Reach, yeah. That was his destination. It was Far Reach.
That was his destination. That's all you know.
Yeah. Well, no, I asked if he was taking the lumber to me.
Ah.
And he said yes.
Ah.
So
The
therefore,
answer
by
would have been
deduction,
yeah.
Kaishun is on
The
far
DM's,
reach.
DM's revealed too much.
But the DM revealed the wrong thing.
DM got so caught up in it. Hang on.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving that.
Okay.
Remember the they're under no
obligation to tell the truth.
obligation to tell the truth.
As I just mentioned to the captain. So if he was indeed speaking truth, Kaishun is currently on far reach.
We'll move you guys to
I was then literally about to ask that.
world map for reference. It's a well-known port, far reach, up in the northeast, close to the lands of Serenor, a very heavily forested bay kind of region.
For those of us who are not as familiar with the map, any chance of a ping?
Oh, yeah,
Yes, I will ping again.
Let's.
Wow. Okay.
Oh wow, all the way up there.
So we've got
You're
two
very far
locations.
away from where you are currently.
Yeah. So this is
For those
Viddy as a
watching.
player. Viddy as a player talking. So yeah, we've now got two options, haven't we?
Just to make things a little bit easier, because we've gone on a bit of a tangent now. Who's keeping watch up on the deck of the ship?
I'll be up in
Yeah,
the
I would be.
concept.
I'd be on there.
You'll roll perception checks for me, please, whilst the interrogation is going on. I'm just going to hide non-video.
20 for me.
23 for me.
So
Very nice.
I'll stop the stream. Don't need to.
I had 25 on perception.
Hang on. Just checking something. That Roll20 hasn't fucked up something on my map. Hang on. I'm hoping that you guys can't actually see that because it's not.
That's reading too much.
I have some annotations on the map, on the big map, that I'm really hoping you guys can't see.
No, you can't see
All I
anything.
can see is a blue blob. Yeah.
Well, actually, I'll share my
Zero.
screen again, and you can see what we can see.
No, I'm loading up player view. I've got it up. Okay, yeah, you can see one thing, but that's fine. That's the thing I need you to be able to see. So those of you got over 20 on watching the kind of looking out, you can, in the morning light, you can see this what looks like a shipyard further into the bay of the island.
A hostile territory shipyard?
Hello,
Appears to
we
be.
moved.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to clean up my map here. Should be. It's located on that yellow
Yeah,
dot.
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's where the secret entrance was that I remembered.
Yes, that is the location you remembered, yeah. That's why that's visible. Cool, that's all good.
Yeah. So those of
The
those
perception
of
rolls?
20 can see the shipyard.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Any movement with that, or just that we can see
None-
that it is a
None
shipyard?
that you can see.
Okay, cool. Quite interesting to see, isn't it?
Could be a problem.
Would be less of a problem if we can actually get this submersible to work.
Hmm.
That had quite a lot of explosive on there, so it would make quite a big bang and disrupt them quite a bit.
Keep them from following us.
Right, exactly. Let's just hope we can get it moving.
I mean, we can hope, but I very much doubt it. Luck has not really been on our side late.
Well, no. Maybe Lady Luck might give us a bone here, though, now. You never know. Keep hoping. And I'll just wait for the captain to come back up, so we can just obviously let him know.
Yeah, as soon
Captain
as-
Ultras.
Yep. As soon as we're done,
Yep, we'll go
Back
top
on
side.
deck.
So, the only person that could decode the submersible is this fellow, and I'll hold up his head.
Right, so
Do you want to try swimming down with the head? You can borrow it, as long as you give it back.
definitely, I'll give that a go. Oh, Captain, there's definitely a shipyard where that secret entrance is what you were talking about. So if we can get the submersible down there, it would cause a lot of disruption for him.
I'm not sure we're going to be able to. I think we just need to let it sink.
Well, do you want me to take the head down and see? I can take the rest of the body with me as well.
If you want, I think we need to head off pretty soon. Head off, yes.
Well, I'll quickly let me do that, and I'll take Barry with me and see if he thinks it is it worked.
Do you want me to go just in case it needs to be dispelled?
Yes, that makes sense.
Right. And then I'll basically just descend and wait in the in the submersible for them.
You go down. There's a couple of entrances you can use to get in. Iris, you would notice that it's sitting a bit lower in the water than it was previously.
Almost like it's taken on water.
Yeah, possibly.
Cool.
You enter inside, and there's a kind of like thin layer of water on the floor inside.
Okay, that's fair.
And Barry says, "I don't think this is going to work. But I don't know what's going to happen if you pull the lever. Something bad."
I would suggest that somebody go and warn the captain to move the ship from over the top of this thing.
Barry, do you want to go? I'll stay here with Oilis.
Can't swim.
I'll quickly take Barry up, get him to the ship, and come back down.
Only be
Barry
used
informs
sending
you,
shields.
Zarut, that they're going to try something with the submarine, and probably best not to have the ship parked on top.
Makes sense.
So, what are you two doing in the inside the submarine?
So, with having the head and body, I will move to where these mechanisms are. And does anything appear to happen as if they become active or anything?
Doesn't seem to be.
What if I put, like, a hand onto the table as such, without pressing any buttons or anything?
I don't see any obvious reaction.
I'm watching his process because I'm very intrigued.
And then I will, keeping the hand on there, I will not fully send it, but see if there is any movement on any of the, like, just give it like a little.
You find what appears to be like a main starting lever of some kind. Start propulsion. It's got a bit of catch to it, but with some force could be pulled down.
Right. Here we go then. And yeah, I'll try and pull the lever to see if it starts it.
Has the
You
water?
pull it down. There's a loud kind of bah sound, and the lever returns up to the top.
Ignition's already on.
Right.
Did you put the submarine in gear?
I don't think it's going to work. However, I think dispelling it, if you did, if we do get chased, if one of us can stay on board and light a fuse again, that would go boom and potentially near their ships. Spoilers.
There's water in here. It's probably ruined the explosives.
From where the explosives were, did it look like this amount of water in it would have ruined it?
Not currently,
Yeah.
but you notice that it's a little bit higher than it was earlier.
Yeah. Well, not at the minute, but there ain't much time.
I don't really see that we could get anybody to come over the top of this and then get away before we could detonate it, or whether or not the explosives would remain dry for long enough. So I would say let's just dispel it and be done.
Okay, are you casting Dispel Magic?
Yes.
Okay, you cast it, and you hear a clunk, and a cog just drops out of the box. Splattering, well, splashing on the floor.
Right, not much time. Let's get out.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll sort of pick the cog up and take it with me as a souvenir, and then exit Elusive.
As you start to go towards the exit, you hear this kind of loud creaking sound of metal against metal.
Yeah, that's cool.
And as you both exit the submarine, there's a loud kind of sound, and you see the hull just kind of implode a little, and it begins to sink. Probably should have invested in a more official controller for that one.
Nice. Not PlayStation 1.
I think it was like Logitech, the one they had.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Notoriously
And you
buggy
can
one.
return to the deck of the ship. As the submarine drifts down to the seabed.
Yeah, we'll just head back on board the Elusive Tie.
Okay.
It's basically
What would you like to do then?
Has anything from the dock noticed that little
Don't
thing?
see any boats in the shipyard. It's just kind of the bones of a shipyard. It seems from this distance.
Your orders, Captain.
Well, we have a couple of destinations, but I think
Well, we were directed here, were we not? By Queen Orala herself.
Well, I think we were directed to Skywatch, weren't we? And we just had a wander around here first. Or am I missing that?
You've heard repeatedly that, like, you've seen visions of a battle at Skywatch, but all of the rumours seem to point that the Blue Blades base must be somewhere on this island.
Okay.
Yes, we weren't told Skywatch specifically. We were told towards or near Skywatch.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you were directed towards Menzeno.
Which is where we are currently.
the Skywatch connection was because of Bronzeborn.
Well, in which case, I think we need to make for sure and investigate.
Okay.
Aye, aye.
You sail about and you
set a
come
course.
to see this shipyard. It looks abandoned. As you kind of sail in, the docks are all there, the dry docks. You can see some kind of like lumber that has been abandoned, but nothing in great amounts. You can see a small ramshackle wooden building and a path leading into the jungle.
Are there any people about at all?
No.
The captain's pocket is not flashing at this time as well.
Nope.
Might be worth installing that little doohickey on the wheel so it's always got somebody's got eyes on it.
But say if we get enough captain, leave it on board so then the crew know.
Yep. Makes sense to have it at the helm.
It may also make sense to have Mr. Kent take the ship back out and hide somewhere not on this dock.
That would be sensible. I can take over for you, Captain, if you need.
That I think would be wise. Thank you, Kent.
What a wise Kent.
You know, you sounded almost South African there.
I could have done the accents.
Not Smythe Kent. Kent Smythe. My name.
Well,
So, what would you all like to do?
I think we're getting
Have a
onto the
party.
dock. Yeah.
dropped off.
I'll bring the
Yeah.
rum. Lovely.
Okay.
Not that kind of party.
You land ashore and Kent directs the ship to kind of keep moving and patrol the area a little bit, avoid being caught unawares. And you find yourselves in this shipyard. It's all ramshackle wooden buildings. You can see kind of the abandoned, half-finished hulls of ships. Looks like there was a fair operation going on here, but the place is empty. There's no people anywhere.
I still feel like we should set fire to this before we leave, Captain.
Does it look like it's been just abandoned in a hurry, or are things packed up and just taken away?
Make an investigation check for me.
Is this is this really an abandoned shipyard? Is this not just a huge illusion or a fake meant to distract us from the actual port?
Make an investigation check.
With the captain's permission, I will mount my lantern of revealing fully unshuttered on the top of my staff.
Okay, you've got 6 hours of oil in that currently, so
Investigation.
I got 20 on my investigation.
20,
Got a 15.
15. Aldris, it doesn't seem to be an illusion. But it's pretty physical. You go up to one of the holes and yeah, that's pretty real.
Well, it wasn't really an illusion, but is it sort of a cover for something else? Is this the honeypot? Are we supposed
Whilst
to be
it
drawn
it doesn't look like the old port that you used to come by, the smuggling port, it looks real enough. There's nothing about it that strikes you as a fake setup.
Okay.
Can you remember what you were looking for, Zaruk?
As to whether it was abandoned quickly or things were packed up neatly.
It seems to have been abandoned quickly. There are tools strewn about. The door to the small building is still kind of hanging open. But no trace of any people.
And
What was
no
the total
sign-
investigation?
20.
20. You do see a couple of blood splatters. Very small, very faint and bright. As though it was a long while ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
The ship that we fought, was it going in or coming out? It was going in, wasn't it?
It was going in.
It appeared to be going in. However, the DM is unreliable and set the encounter map up just for a fun fight. Because, not something to read into.
Okay.
You would probably have recognised it as sailing out of this place.
Okay, so it was leaving.
Yeah, it was leaving. So. I'm all over the place today. It's going well.
Split up, Captain, and have a look around. Do you think?
Split up and search for clues.
It's always the best idea to split up completely.
Absolutely. Ones and twos, or a couple of groups, or
Just ones. Everyone just go.
everyone
whichever
just go a completely
direction.
different way, just to really annoy the DM. Good plan.
And so it can be easily replaced by mimics.
Yep.
I'll say that
there's 8 points on a compass, so
there are 2 locations of interest. There is the wooden building, the door hanging open, and a pathway that seems to lead into the jungle. It's a well-worn path.
I will choose pathway.
Okay.
I will follow Mr. Kirkin, because I too will choose the pathway.
Where do you want me, Captain? Pathway or building?
Let's check out the building first, and then we'll head down the pathway.
You mean you don't want to split the party?
I can't see Miss D. I really can't.
no, I can't. She's loading.
Dan was saying the same
Oh.
thing.
I can.
I can only promise you my camera is on.
It definitely is, and
Yeah,
It hasn't been on for about the last half hour for me. Just
Miss,
loading.
Miss D is definitely on the stream.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the camera is definitely on. The only person that's not on the stream is Nat.
Yeah.
Is Sicky Sickerson in the corner? Yeah.
Because plague.
Okay.
Is
So
there
you're
any
heading to
sign
the-
of people being here recently other than us?
I'll say yeah. You can see a couple of footprints in the dirt and drag marks of what look to be some decently large crates. You would
Coming
surmise probably full of lumber.
Coming from the little hut?
Um,
The pathway.
coming from kind of this store area near the ships, or the incomplete ships.
Okay. Looks Captain, there are signs of recent activity dragging of the boxes from the store area. We might want to investigate that as well.
That's probably just them putting the lumber in the crates, putting it on the ship, and then us killing them. I suspect that was the order of events there.
But there might be something else in that storeroom.
There could be some more lumber, yes.
As I make my way around the dock, am I seeing any invisible creatures?
Nothing jumping out at you, and nothing hiding either. It's oddly quiet.
Utterly quiet, you say.
Hmm.
Not even
As opposed to
sound of
evenly
native
quiet.
animals.
You
Fair.
can do a perception check if you want, Kirkin.
I'm so
Looking
good
at-
at those.
You got better at them from reading a book. Would have gone up by
Yeah,
+1.
tell that to my dice. 13.
13. You can still hear kind of it's not bird song, but the chirps of animals deeper into the forest. Those are some big trees. This is proper jungle terrain. Kind of up. Though some of the trees have been kind of cleared back. Presumably to get lumber to make some ships.
So, what's in the shed?
You have a look, and there are 2 rooms. One seems to be filled with bunks that have been kind of left and abandoned, and the other appears to be a small office. A small desk with some papers that are kind of strewn and abandoned.
I will gesture to the captain. An office, Captain.
Ah, let's take a look.
You look about. Most of the papers seem to just be logs of logs.
Oh, the
Yeah,
log
we've
log.
already seen the number.
Details on ships built. You do see an envelope that has been unopened.
Anything written on the outside?
No, but you do see the Blue Blade seal on the back.
Unseal it.
Or unseal it.
With
How could
prejudice.
you be so cruel to go clubbing these seals? Go clubbing with these seals. You kind of open it up, and it's a short letter.
A3 size.
A3's big, Fiddy.
It's
A5 size.
It's a
Better.
short letter, so like an
Better.
I or an L. Inside is written, Maxwell, I don't care what you say about horrible monsters. These ships are important, and we will see them done for Kaishun. And it is signed, a name that you recognize, Zarut. Signed by one Ingrid Diamondbraid, who you would know, it's not in the backstory, you would know as being one of the kind of members of the Blue Blades that sided with you and Zarut way back.
Me and Zarut.
So sided with you and Kaishun, sorry.
Me and other me again.
There's too many Zaruts, I can't handle it.
Don't remember
Yeah,
casting
sided
that.
with you and Kaishun back in the day. You know her to be this Duragar wizard of sorts, who was a bit of a she could be a bit of a tyrant. She was very bossy of those underlings to her, and judging by this letter, it still is.
So, while the captain's reading that, can I find out how many ships they actually built? You said there were records of ships built.
Make an investigation check.
Sure. Oh! 19.
19. You kind of make some investigations. You find that none of the logs of the ships are dated later than about a week ago, or dated closer to like.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean.
Yep.
The last
They're from
log was
about a
dated
week
from
ago.
about a week ago.
And approximate roughly that they had managed to build about 10 ships and about 8 what they have classed as undersea ships.
Okay.
I
will share this information with the crew.
From a quick look, how many logs of logs are there?
Lots.
Would I be able to surmise how big these ships are?
I'll say make a carpenter's tools check, as you are proficient in shipbuilding.
So what, just add my proficiency, or?
Strength and proficiency.
Okay.
Weird question. From the
Weird
ships
answer?
that we know that the underships that we know that we've seen, how many more are possibly unaccounted for?
Ooh. From the number of ships, or the kind of like rough estimate of number of explosions that happened at Orala's tomb, you would assume that there would have to be at least another 10 more.
Another 10 more? Sorry,
Or
did
there would have to be at least 10 to perform the attack on Orala's tomb.
Okay. Plus the one that we've sank.
Hmm.
But it said 8 in the book.
8 in the book.
25.
That book is from a week ago.
25 on the Carpenter's Tool 6.
25. You surmise, judging by the kind of the capacity of this shipyard, that they're not going to be ship of the line or man of wars. They're going to be brigantines and sloops. Nothing major.
Okay.
Smaller ships, roughly in kind of the vein of the Elusive Tide.
Yeah. I will pass that on to the group as well.
Is there any manifest on weaponry on these finished ships, like ballista, cannon, that sort of thing?
Not in the notings that you seem to have, though. What was your investigation check on?
19.
19. Sorry,
That's all right.
you do find, kind of sifting through, kind of checking and rechecking, you do find a small map, it seems to be. It seems to detail a path heading kind of roughly northwest from this shipyard to what seems to be labelled lumber camp, and then up towards the mountains is labelled simply as mines.
I will show the captain this information.
Lumber camps and mines.
Yes, so I suspect that that path out there leads to the lumber camp, and when we get there, there'll be another path to the mines.
Right. Well,
It doesn't
That's where
state
we-
anything about the captains these ships have gone to, does it, Aldris?
Does it? No,
No.
it was just literally a manifest of how many they've built.
Well, from the small maps of the route it's got from here to, you said northwest, yeah? Northwest, you said. Does it look like it would align with our ship's map if we took it there to give us a destination?
Roughly. I'll do my best to do this. It's tricky on this map. No, that's not what I'm after. Get rid of the fill. Yeah. So, I'm just going to get rid of this for the moment, just for my reference. It's kind of a little bit off, but roughly, I don't know how visible that is to you. That is roughly where you are, where the shipyard is. I'll move the Elusive Tide in as well for it. And the path appears to go up to about
We can't
there.
see if anything if you're drawing things.
oh, blimey, that's
It's very
It's
faint brown.
very, very wrong colour. Hang on. Let me pick something a bit more vibrant here. We'll do this. So that's roughly where the shipyard is.
Right.
The path seems to take it up to about there,
Okay.
because there is a kind of mountain range that runs the line of the island like that.
Right.
And it's roughly about kind of, the lumber camp's roughly there, and then the mines are roughly there on the
Okay, cool.
mountain.
Yep. That's cool. Thank you.
From knowing this place, Captain and Aldris, do you know what they could be mining for?
Well, I would
I
imagine
would
metals for
imagine
ships,
metals for cannons and things.
cannons, rigging, that sort of thing. All the bits of ships that are made out of metal. Did you share the contents of the letter, by the way?
I haven't. I just read it.
Okay.
So, I get the feeling that they're no longer using this. They've built what they need to build. And we either go to Skywatch now, or northeast to where the other book said.
I'm not sure that they actually finished building what they were supposed to be building. That didn't look like a finished shipyard to me.
No.
I think they've abandoned this. They haven't finished.
Why would they abandon a place like this if it was
There
that
was-
beneficial to him?
There were signs of dried blood when we first came in, and it looked like they packed up in a hurry, so perhaps there's something here they weren't expecting.
Right. But, forgive me, Captain. My queen directed us here to deal with whatever was here. So I think we really should be dealing with whatever's here. If there is something here that made them leave, perhaps we needed to. Perhaps it's another one of these whatchamacallums.
Would you like me to go and scout out the area, Captain?
I think we all need to head up that path and go and investigate. But when you do lack, if you could take point
Captain.
up in the air, I'm not sure the visibility you'll have from your usual vantage point. It is quite a thick canopy. But do your thing.
Do your thing.
Question, PM.
Answer, player.
With the amount of logs
He's
and
obsessed.
how I surmise of potentially how many ships they built, how long would it have taken them, or how long would it take them to build them?
You're not really sure because you would need to know.
You keep mentioning logs.
I didn't think of that. I shall in future. You're not really sure without knowing the number of people that they had working on these. It's hard to tell.
Okay, so knowing how I know how long it would take to build either a sloop or you said a big end, right? With a normal shipyard crew, size crew, how long would that take?
With a standard shipyard kind of working normal hours, it would probably take a couple of days to build a decently sized brigantine.
So they've built 10 ships and 10 undersea ships whilst they were here. So they've been here a while.
So yeah, I'll pass it on to the.
I would
onto the-
also add for extra clarification, you did find evidence in the base in Tal Hazar that they had received ships from elsewhere as well to kind of fund their navy.
Yeah. They're definitely building for something big, Captain. Two days with a normal crew to build a decent sized ship with the amount of logs they've got. Depending on the size of the crew for the blue blades and what extra help they've got.
Jade, could you just drop the text of the message into a chat, our chat, if you've got it? Copy and paste it.
No, but I can type it out roughly for you as you continue to RP.
So, Captain, we know that they've had other sources of ships. So this won't be their only base. Of shipbuilding base.
Yes.
So it does seem that they are expanding rapidly from when you knew them.
Well, yes, I think that was already evident, but to the level at which they have expanded does surprise me.
And their underwater ships seem to be yes, that's a worrying development.
We can continue to chase the Blue Blades leaders, whether that's Kaishun and others or just him, and try and chop off the head of the organization, as it were. But the amount of ships that they have is not something we can combat alone.
True.
In some way, we need to organize the pirates into regiments in order to combat the level of threat that the Blades face on the seas.
Well, I don't want to gainsay the captain, but organise and pirates.
Yes, I know. It's why I've only
And
now
perhaps this shouldn't be done by ourselves. Perhaps this should be best left to, say, the Queen herself or her minions, rather than a random crew of pirates.
We certainly have several allies that we could call upon for this and allow themselves to.
Perhaps we can delegate the hunting of the Blue Blades fleet to Captain Ishman and Captain Melody.
Yes, but I think there needs to be at least organized council that directs these. We don't want everyone just going off.
This is why I suggest the leaders be Melody and Ishman, because they are two of the most respected captains on the seas.
They're respected captains, but I think the organization needs to come from, as Aldris said, the Queen of Gold and others.
I don't think it will be as hard as we think it will to get them to be organised, or at least band together, because the attack on Orala's tomb, that was not just us, it was everyone in every...
And the attack at Deephorn.
Make a... Just quickly for me, Zaru, make a hearsay or history check.
Pure and simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
He did the I'm going to be a 20 business, but it landed on 14, so 22.
Nice.
22. As you're kind of talking this through, you kind of think, well, with an attack on Orala's tomb, that may get a lot of the pirates riled up. There's probably going to be a lot of retaliation already. Any Blue Blade ship seen, especially if it has been attributed to the Blue Blades, will be hunted mercilessly. Especially as you would know that Orala has very strong relationships with the other two pirate gods. Khan and Marquaz might not get along, but they both respect Orala. Eddie. Stop.
Thanks, Billy.
I'm having a day. Okay, so yeah, just to have some details known. You don't suspect that hunting down the Blue Blades fleet will be too much of a problem, because you also remember that the attacks on Orala's tomb and Deephorn were quite pyrrhic in nature. They scuttled their ships to do damage.
Yeah.
hoping that this is making rough sense because
No, it is. It's
I
just
plotted it out, and I'm worried that things are spiraling off. We've gotten to the bit that I planned for the start of the session, so it's going well.
no. It make well to me. It makes sense. It's just that we at the minute have about probably a slight exaggeration, but like 5 different options to go for, and
Yeah.
it's what we need to do basically.
Yeah, I think we go up the path, find out what the fuck scared them off, and then set sail for wherever.
Find what scared them off and recruited.
Yeah, I'm going to interpret that Aldris said that so I can segue into it.
Yeah.
Well, I read this letter that we found. It does, in fact, mention monsters in the mines.
Right.
I sort of read it. I don't care about these so-called monsters. These ships are important, blah, blah, blah. So there's something in the mines that was written by a mage that I knew, who is, what's the word, a geomancer. So he would certainly be involved in the mining process. So there's something in the mines.
Right. So
there's something deep in Moria.
To
the mines.
Clarify a little bit, from the blood splatters you'd found, it would possibly imply that the monsters are in the main area of the island.
Plus the fact that I saw the blood spatters.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that things don't get wildly out of control.
Would suggest that these monsters left the mines and they chased them off.
Right.
So they've mined and unsealed these creatures, which have been ultimately their doom.
Yes.
So
find monsters, kill monsters, set fire to shipyard, get on our ship, kill Kaishun.
yeah.
Right.
So PM question:
Oh God.
have we?
Yeah,
No. Yeah. And I won't just ask it for me, but for everyone. But has any of us heard of any islands and like territorial monsters or anything like this in our travels across the sea over the many years?
You can make a nature or a hearsay check. Anyone else can as well if you wish.
Yeah.
Does hearsay involve?
Hearsay is a charisma-based check. I believe that Zarut and Quarantine are proficient. Zarut, Quarantine, and Lack should be proficient in it. I believe, because it's a memory check, kind of recalling information that you've overheard through conversations and stuff.
I'll have to go nature then, because it's at least a plus.
22 hearsay.
25 hearsay.
25.
16 nature.
25 hearsay for me as well.
Oh, fucking you big
Blimey.
well.
Fine.
I got a
You're not really
7.
sure. You are lost for words on what could have killed these Aldris. It could have been anything.
I'm still
Fine.
set on Devourers.
You have heard of particularly large, monstrous creatures living on some of the islands, but nothing specific to Menzano. 3 of you all kind of recall like previous conversations, hearing about someone talking about, oh, I'm going to make it rich. I found there's loads of sulfur on Menzano. We could fuel an army with this stuff. We could make some a mad amount of explosives. It would be great. But, nah, you just die on Menzano. Those beasts will eat you in a single bite. I wouldn't do it.
Awesome.
But we don't know what type of beasts. Just
Big
beasts.
ones.
Beasts that could eat you in a bite. Nom nom nom.
Cool. Right, down the pathway then, I think.
Yep. Let's go find some beasts.
You will,
Okay.
Captain. I may be able to get more information for us before we venture further into the jungle.
Please do. Information is always good.
So I will go up to one of the larger trees near the encampment and cast Speak with Plants,
Fantastic.
which is my first in-character action of the
Oh, you read the book. Yeah. You cast the magic and it kind of spreads through the tree as it kind of rustles in the wind and says, hello. How can I help you, little fleshy one?
I'm also going to be contacting the tree with my staff as a kind of, I'm in the company of an old one, respect me type of thing.
You get a sense that there's like unspoken communication between the two trees, your staff and the tree you're communicating with.
It's like they're laughing at me. I'll set them all on fire. No. Bit of an overreaction, maybe. Greetings, ancient one. I wonder if you knew what became of the creatures that dwelled here before we came.
There were little ones, and they cut us down with their metal. So we showed the littler ones, and they brought their big fiery friend.
Wait, the tree did or the little ones did?
The little ones. Small, scaly little creatures. They like to climb us.
This tree is stone. This was a mistake.
Fun fact: there are two subreddits. One is called Trees. One is called Marijuana Enthusiasts.
Yeah.
The Marijuana Enthusiasts Reddit is all about trees and arbology, and the Trees subreddit is all about marijuana. It's
Naturally.
just fantastic.
Awesome.
Favorite little fact.
Is it the tree that's stoned or Kirken?
Who
Yes.
knows?
Yes.
Who knows? That's what he says.
So the lizards called the trees called the lizards called the fire demon ate the people. Awesome.
Or it could be the trees called the kobolds called the dragon went bah.
Could be.
I'm so glad you were able to interpret that because I wasn't. Fair enough. Thank you for your help, ancient one.
Thank
We will
you
be
for speaking with me, young flesh one. Go safely now.
Well, destroy the shipyard as we leave, so your kind is not harmed again.
Thank you. We are already growing once again.
I am glad of it. So,
Okay.
finish my communication and share with the group.
There's the little ones, the little scaled ones, and the big fiery one.
Cool.
So
Great.
maybe that there's a dragon on the island, or at least kobolds.
Interesting.
I say let the adventure begin, Captain.
I really thought you'd frozen there for a moment. You were just so still.
Okay. So, what would you like to do?
Follow the yellow brick road.
Quiet.
Or the muddy, trodden path?
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, we'll do that
Do
as
that
well.
one. Okay.
We'll sing Follow the Yellow Brick Road on the way up there, and we'll sing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road on the way back.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
good to know. Good to know.
Who has the
So-
ruby slippers?
You
Aldris.
Clive.
obviously.
they found my magic item list. You continue your way. Or you make your way down the path through this very well. it looks to be very dense jungle, but it's kind of mostly like brush and new growth surrounding stumps that then leads up to very dense jungle on the sides. There's a fair amount of wood that has been cut kind of from this natural landscape. And as you continue to walk, you can see what appears to be a wooden palisade coming into view. You begin to see a small settlement of some kind up ahead.
I'll fly off ahead and scout it from high in the air.
Okay, make a perception check for me, like.
16.
Okay. From your vantage point, it seems to be some kind of logging camp next to a river.
Do I see any movement in there?
Not with that perception check.
Okay. I'll fly back and Captain, seems to be a logging camp. I cannot see any movement.
Good. Thank you, lad. Let's move on in, but let's not make too much noise.
I'll stealth overhead in Overwatch mode.
Okay. So, what? So, are you guys going quietly then? Are you all going quietly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. We'll...
I'll have a round of stealth checks from you all then.
Hooray!
And I'll get my calculator.
I will. I will give Kirkham, because Kirkham's usually rubbish at this. I will just sort of pat you on the shoulder. Kirkham, try and be a little more quiet this time and cast Blessing of the Trickster, which gives you advantage on stealth checks for an hour.
Okay, so Kirkham may roll with advantage.
The only problem with
Aldris.
that... Stealth check, you say?
Yeah.
5.
5.
I knew that was going to happen.
Vulcan.
I have disadvantage, so...
9.
9. Zarut.
11. Going up.
It's getting there. It's getting there. Eyeless.
Because I guidance myself. 14.
14.
Get in there. Get in there.
Kirkham. Could you continue this trend?
No, I got 11.
11. That was with the
First roll was a
advantage,
5. Yeah.
Line.
I got 15.
Hey, we're getting there.
Black.
29.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then quarantine.
Surprisingly, 19.
Ooh.
Clumsy, bloody wingless people.
That's fair.
That is by 8 of you. So, I'm going to kind of count Black separately because he is slightly separated, but the group average is 14.
You are
Wow.
So, you are kind of going quietly. Are you approaching the camp?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what I'll do is very non-conspicuously.
Yeah, we never need to worry when a map's about to appear.
That'll be fine.
To the roll 20.
So I'll be about 60 feet in the air over the camp, just hovering silently, watching for any movement.
Watching, despairing.
So I'll let you guys
Yeah, Klein
move
would definitely...
yourselves
It'd be near the front somewhere, for
as
sure.
you see fit. You kind of enter into this ruined lumber camp. There's what appears to be a bunk building off to the right that is kind of crushed in half. Part of the roof has collapsed in on itself with a couple of tree trunks kind of lying broken. There is abandoned logs, someone crushed by one of the logs, it would seem, and a saw blade still turning from the current of the water, turning a water wheel. I'm quite pleased with this map. I made it,
Yeah, it's cool.
then thought, nah, it's not good enough, and did it all over again. So,
Yeah.
one of those things. So, as you enter, Iris, can you give me a perception check for me, please?
Yes. That'll do. That's better than my stealth roll, so including that it is 21. 32.
Blimey. 32. You hear some rustling in the bushes, but don't see anything.
Okay.
And the bushes kind of around here-ish.
I will move towards it slowly. Hello? Is anybody there? And then repeat the same phrase in Celestial, Draconic, and Primordial.
Doesn't seem to be a response.
I will sit on the back of this lumber pile and just wait.
Okay. What would you like to do?
Captain, are we still being quiet, or are we going to see if there's anybody here?
Quiet is usually the best approach.
Not the funniest, though, is it?
We know that a lot of Blue Blades people were chased away from this island, so I think caution is advisable here.
Righto.
Let's just have a look around, see what information we can gather, what clues we can find as to what happened here. If you see anything important, let me know. If you see any survivors, or maybe not survivors, then tell me immediately.
Can I just have a look at this body? What appears to be under this log?
Appears to be a human in pretty ragged clothes. His lower half has been crushed by a log. You can make an investigation check to see any other details.
Yeah, just to see if he's got like blue blades shit on him. 11, yeah.
Is this
11.
a scatological survey?
You investigate. You don't see any demarcations. You do see some bite marks on him.
We've got some bite marks over here, Captain. Quarantine, if you want to take a look.
Yes. Any clue as to the size of the creature, or more specific?
Probably about the size of a dog. Maybe a little bit bigger. Very sharp teeth, though.
Not a huge creature.
Could a kobold have been gnawing at him?
Possibly. You've seen kobolds. Maybe a particularly large kobold.
I mean, it could have been a kobold, Captain. If it's a largish one.
Yes, possibly. They're not particularly dangerous creatures, though, if you've got a sword. Be
Yeah,
surprised if it...
With creatures like kobolds, where you'll find one, you'll find many, like an ant's nest.
This body doesn't appear to be armed.
Well, maybe something. I mean, does it look like it was killed by the bite, or it was chewed after it died?
Looked like he was kind of past it when the log landed on him. His lower half is crushed by this log.
Yeah.
But it seems like he has bled out. You would surmise.
Two options here with the log though, Captain. Either people were carrying it and he got caught under it when the attack was made, or something really big picked it up.
That's the fear.
I will attempt to lift this tree trunk up just to see how heavy it is.
Make a strength check.
I will back away slightly.
Uh, 12.
It's heavy. You would assume that it would take multiple people to lift this thing. And the drag mark along the ground is rather deep.
Yeah. It's bloody heavy, Captain. Multiple people, or someone's dragged this. Plopped it down. On top of this poor soul.
Yes, or something very big has thrown it. Okay. Well,
Captain, I do not want to worry you, but there is a rather large, heavy stomping sound in the distance. And I believe it may behoove us to take cover.
Would I be able to see anything?
Make a perception check for me, Lack.
21.
21. Nothing in the immediate vicinity, but you do start to hear it. Balkan, you begin to hear these heavy footsteps.
Can I tell
They
which
kind of-
direction it's coming from?
No, it seems to be kind of echoing, rumbling through the ground, and echoing about between the trees.
I'll move back over to my spot and sort of move into the bushes.
Quarantine, you start to hear these heavy footsteps. They're getting closer, but you're not sure from where.
I'm going to duck down behind the log.
Okay. Is there anything anyone wishes to do?
I'm
Yes.
stay hovering about 60 feet in the air, keeping an eye out.
The shade in the sawmill up there, is it actually cover or am I
It's
imagining it?
there's a covering above that section, so I had to do this for. I was consulting friends when building this, so the shape of that is kind of like you've got this. Hang on a sec. It's being a nuisance. So you've got the deck with the bits underneath, and then you've got this kind of main interior with a roof on top, and then there are some pillars with kind of ropes connecting, and there's the saw blade kind of poking out.
Yeah, I'll go in there to
Analysis.
follow them for reasons.
Beautiful.
I will follow.
The saw blade is kind of turning slowly. It's not a danger, but you can hear the creaking of the water wheel still turning the river. You can all hear this loud, heavy footstep coming from the distance.
From a distance.
Like, you see the rustling of bushes and trees shaking, coming from the east.
I'll message down to the captain. Captain. Something is coming from the east.
Let's try and take some cover and get a. Lack, if you can do your thing and get eyes on it, and all of your eyes, if possible.
Aye, Captain. I will zoom towards the east.
As you do that,
It is.
Eyeless, does a 21 hit you?
Yes, it does.
Jesus.
I presume that was east the way I went.
Okay.
Yep.
North is straight up.
So hold on 1 second. I just need to go and retrieve something. There it is. Hylas, you take 5 points of piercing damage as you kind of feel this sharp pain in your leg, and you look down and you see this small, scaled and feathered creature kind of biting into your leg. And at that point, Lack, as you start to fly, you see barreling through the jungle, kind of crashing into the camp, this absolutely massive lizard-like creature with these large curled horns, sharp teeth in its maw, and a line of bright yellow sulfurous spikes along its back.
I'll message down to the captain and describe it to him.
You don't need to, as it charges through the broken debris of that building, crashing into the camp. And that is where we are going to finish for tonight.
Ooh, what is that? It is very cool looking.
I will retrieve a fun picture. There it is. I have been busily burning away in the
That's cute.
So the upper one's the one that bit Eyeless, and that's the one that's just charged into the camp, roaring at you.
Oh,
That's less
boy,
cute.
that's
No, that is cute.
When I said, big fiery one, I meant big fiery one.
Let me just put that on
So,
for the stream.
Oh! I just realized I have a spell that I've been wanting to use for ages.
And
I might
you
need a
get
warning of
to
what
use
that
it.
spell is, but I have a feeling I might know what it is, but
I don't
was
want
worried
to ruin
you-
the.
I was worried you were going to say, I've got a spell that I've been wanting to use for ages that I should have used half an hour ago.
No.
So I
Awesome.
fully admit I had intentions of right, okay, so they'll go onto the sub, realise that they can't reclaim it, they'll probably get some treasure from it and from the shipwreck, and then they'll continue to investigate the docks and all of that. But
Yeah, but
the submarine, I should have realised the submarine was going to be too
it was too
enticing a thing
attractive.
to leave alone.
And
It was
also,
shiny new toy.
and also shenanigans.
That's how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
And we will pick up with initiative.
We
next
will
week.
indeed. That was awesome. Thank you, Jay.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I only DM for 6 weeks at a time, filling in gaps. But I have definitely vastly learned not to plan anything ahead. And if something happens, go, oh shit, here we go, and just do it.
We'll still make the plans because you can use them still.
No, yeah, 100%, yeah,
yeah.
for that side of it. But
But yeah, don't
GMing is a
don't trust that the players will adhere to your plan.
oh,
because
so
that's
this is
never
what they're
gonna
going to do. They're going to do this, and this, and then they get to that, and it's like, no.
Not
There
even
are
close.
times I plan a session, and that turns into 3 sessions.
yes.
Like,
Yeah.
we still get through it, but it just takes so much longer because
And,
the planning forgets to account for the role playing.
yes.
Yeah.
And also,
It's-
there are times when you plan a session and you sort of have a sequence of events in mind,
hmm
and the players do it, and you think, shit, I haven't got enough stuff planned. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's so unpredictable. You can sort of make this
Lead a horse
elaborate
to water.
scheme of events and go, yeah, that'll work. And then it's all going nicely downhill. And then the players are an Archimedes screw and everything goes back uphill. It's just like, what?
I mean, I definitely have to equate for 20 minutes in any of my sessions for butterfly watching. 100%.
Yeah, well, butterflies. It's important.
And sometimes it just goes A, B, C, F.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there are many skips.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we will be back here next week, of course, to find out who lives and who dies by the big fiery lizard. We will, of course, also be back here on Sunday for the investigators.
The death for the TPK.
For the TPK, the investigators, because that's going to go so well. So, yeah, thank you for joining us. If you loved it, we loved it. I hope you did too. If you didn't, well, you should know by now. I'm sure people only tune in for this bit. Off you fuck.